Well, this year I bought a food processor with this plastic dough blade, and I've been using it to process my pawpaw and persimmons to save the seeds. Now, I'm not super concerned about saving the flesh. I'm saving seeds because I've been replanting them and growing trees. And this plastic dough blade on this cheap little food processor, it came from, I believe I got this at Walmart. I bought it a few months ago when I was doing my pawpaws, and it worked very well. And I thought, well, it's working so good on the pawpaws. I tried it with persimmons, and it worked really good with American persimmons. Well, I got my hands on some named variety American persimmon. You can see these are pretty rotten, but actually when they start to rot, they process a little easier. So again, I'm not worried about saving the pulp so much as just saving the seeds. And so I'm going to run these persimmons today and save the seed. And I thought, you know what? While I'm going to get this thing out, get it dirty, let's try these crab apples. Now, these are a very large crab apple. I mean, this is some of the largest crab apples you'll ever find. I don't know the variety. I found a really good tree. It's been loaded up the last couple years. I mean, you can see the bunches that it's growing, and these are, and I measured some of these are like 1.5 inches almost. So this is really big for crab apples. I have processed some of these by hand this year, and it's a very tedious process. I thought, you know what? Let's throw some in this thing, and I don't expect this to work, and I'm not gonna bust up a bunch of them. I'm afraid that if it does sort of process them up and break the things up, I'm afraid it's gonna damage the seed. But I won't know until I try it. So I figure I'd try a few and see how it does. So let's just put a little bit in there. Stick this on here like so. We got it plugged in, and let's just try it. I can't remember which was the low speed. Let's try this. That's low speed. All right, that's almost as much time as I would do for pawpaw or persimmon. It's definitely pulverizing the things. Now, these crab apples, and I guess most apples, I don't have a tremendous experience with a lot of apples, but the center, the very center, you can see that chunk, that's the center of the apple. That's where the seeds live, and there should be 6 seeds per apple. So I'm going to go ahead and dig through this. Looks like a seed there. Might have got busted up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and dig through this. Have a look at, if the seeds got busted up or not, and I'll report back to you guys after I pick through this. Okay, well, I picked through here and found a handful of seeds, and I think I looked at 6 or 7 seeds, and of them, 1 looked to be damaged. So I'm going to go ahead and run it a little bit longer and see if we can bust up those other big center sections. Now, it doesn't take long to do this. Like I said, with those other fruits, it didn't take long at all. That made a big difference. I'll tell you what, I'm going to end up using water to sort of separate the material. I'm going to try to float the debris off the seeds. That works very well for the persimmons, not so much for the pawpaws, but it does work okay for pawpaws. And since we're going to be using water anyhow, let's go ahead and put some in there and see if we can get the stuff up on the sidewalls to wash down, make a little more resistance for those, because we only have a few apples in here. It might be good to add some water. Let's try that. Try to get all that stuff up off the wall. See if it busted up those remaining center chunks. Now, for the amount of effort that I've put into this, I'm okay if it an empty bucket. I'm okay if we damage a few seeds if I don't have to work real hard, because these things are very time consuming to pick apart. Yeah, I can see some big chunks in there still. And the biggest, hardest chunks are the center, again, which holds the seeds. So I see a few centers there as I was pouring that out. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna process this, fully process it, take my time, sift through this stuff, rinse it down, and I'll let you know what sort of conclusions we can make. It's not working very good. You see all the seeds stay mixed in with the particles too much. So like as I'm dumping that out, I just dumped out a seed there. I could see it as it went past. See that little dark speck there? That's a seed. It's floating out with all the other stuff. So water separation is not going to work real well like it does with some other things for these apples. So I don't know if it's worth busting it up and just picking through to find the seeds. I'm going to keep digging here, but the water separation definitely doesn't work as good as I had hoped it would. I'm going to go ahead and just pick through the trash and see if it's any easier to just pick seeds out of trash versus crushing the apples and sort of manipulating them out by hand. But I have seen a couple broken seeds now also. So that's, I don't know, I'm gonna keep digging here and we'll decide after the fact. Well, I spent a few minutes digging through the mess, and it really is not any quicker doing it like this, I don't think. It's gonna be just as tedious. It's gonna waste a lot of water, and I'm gonna have to be out there sort of hunched over the water sort of table that I have set up out there. I don't think it's worth doing. So I'm gonna pick through the rest of this trash and get the seeds out. It's really not any better than just, you know, picking through a whole apple and getting the seeds out. So in fact, it might be a little more work, because now I have to sift through every little piece looking for hidden seeds, where if you take one of these things apart, you know that the seeds are in the center. So you can quickly go through the outer core and all the skin, throw away the stem, all that sort of stuff. And you know you don't have to worry about losing seeds until you get to that hard center core. So this might actually be more work than just tearing them apart by hand. So I hope I helped you with this one, guys. If you're looking at, you know, processing up a bunch of crab apples to save for the seeds, don't waste your time with the blend or with the food processor. If you've got some other method that, you know, I'd love to see another method that works better than this, or that works better than, you know, doing it by hand, I'd sure be interested to hear about it in the comments below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos of me working on all kinds of stuff out in the shop, click subscribe. Till the next time, keep on tinkering.